My name is Jonathan Parks, and welcome to Jonathan's Nature Crafts. I must inform you that I do not live in this house by myself, but live here with other people. Sometimes other members of the household may have to walk through areas where I might be recording with other family members on the phone. If you hear any noise like that, please feel free to disregard. We are doing our best to get noise canceling equipment, which may at least keep you from hearing exactly what is being said. Thank you for considering. Okay, so this is a little moment. I decided to come on here and try to show a little something different in the work, and there is a certain set of angels that there's probably seven different patterns I've made for them, which could probably be a good thing because there were, of course, seven angels in the Revelation, and this is where I sort of come up with these things. And I've made some of these wooden angels before, like you're about to see, only it's been kind of some different things I've done with them. Some of them I've kind of cut pieces of them in half just to kind of use this mold putty to make these little rubber molds out of them, where you lay the mold putty over the little carving of the wood and kind of makes it out where you can use it for polymer clay to bake in the polymer clay oven, which I've made a few angels like that way. And then there's probably been just a few where I have sort of trying to think of the word. I'm just kind of tired here. Yes, and even where use some of the DOS clay and the paper clay and things to make them so that they would have a little air dry clay that looked a little ceramic when it dried out, and kind of always color it, coat it with polyacrylic or whatever. But I'll go ahead and show what I've done with the ones I've carved out of wood. For the first angel of the set, I have one that's made out of cherry and one that's made out of walnut. This is what they look like in the back. So that's how they come up like this. And I will give you all an idea as to how I came up with that particular step of a pattern. And I had these little round bars of soap that were like shampoo bars that a friend of mine made. She happens to have a company called By His Design. The his is referring to Jesus, of course. She kind of like takes people's clothing and makes little crosses out of it, and to sell custom made, and sometimes even with the clothing of a deceased loved one, she'll do that as a memorial of them. But she's made a lot of soap too, and originally I got these little round shaped shampoo bars from her, and just sort of like what I did was just take little pencils and markers and little knives and things and just put in the little lines to make the shape of the little angel there. And that was how I originally came up with that. I'm trying not to sneeze. I've been sneezing all day. I'll tell you all that when it came down to that, I sort of just carved according to what I was able to draw out on the round little circle, and then ended up taking that and drawing it onto a piece of paper so that I could cut many more of those little round circles out of wood and carve out the design accordingly. Of course, once I purchased the bars of soap from her and made those things out of them, I gave them back to her as a gift to cherish. She really appreciated that. But I will say that this is probably what we're going to say is angel number one, because I've decided to make a set of 7 for each kind of wood, and this is the one that is like, it's made from the Kentucky coffee tree. It has the little design drawn out on it. I mean, I haven't drawn on the back of it yet, but I've drawn the design on the front, and that is one that has yet to be carved out. And unfortunately for Angels 2 and 3, we don't have any carved out right now, so I'll just kind of go ahead and show with these particular ones where I've already cut out the little blanks of the ones I've traced on with the pattern onto the Kentucky coffee tree. I have translated that pattern around to put the angel into different poses. Angels like of that sort and cherubs like that are just not popular these days. I'd say it was probably about 20 years ago you could purchase those from Dollar Tree. These days you can still purchase them from Goodwill. They don't have all that much popularity, but I hope to get a series together where I can demonstrate how I will carve all of these angels. Now, there's a couple ones I have cut out from and carved out from cherry here that will be angels 4 and 5. Now, that is the ones where they are kind of posed like this, and so they kind of are a little curled up like that. So that's kind of what I'll show there. And I will show how there are probably a couple of these where I have already probably like sewn little blanks for them out of Kentucky coffee tree. And I will show you a little bit what I've done with the cherry and walnut as well. Because I will tell you all that with the walnut, I have already kind of made some little blanks here like this where you can kind of see how they're laying like this. And even for angels like ones of 2 and 3, I've probably got some pieces in here. Here's a cherry and walnut one of those 2 angels from the set. Probably got a little cherry and walnut one for the one in the other pose, like one faces left and one faces right. And likewise, like have probably somewhere around here, I just can't, well, yeah, we already got that taken care of, but now I will show you what I also have in the Kentucky coffee tree that's already carved out. Angels 6 and 7 that are in these particular poses. And I'd say that there's probably some more of those we have in the different ones of the cherry and walnut. Here's the 2 I have in the walnut that are already drawn out on the wood. Probably would say yes, and I have a couple here that are cherry that are already drawn out on the wood, and they will be sawn around the outside lines on the bandsaw to make the blanks, and then we take the knives and gouges and carve out the figures for them. There were probably even a few more different angel patterns than even that kind of ended up going into the ones that I made from the polymer clay. And I could tell you all a little story sometime about where the ones from the polymer clay went and some of the ones I made from the air dry clays. They just kind of went out as gifts to special people and special friends, and one set was even a whole box full that went out to a friend as a bereavement gift on the passing of her father, and just decided that I'd share it with the rest of her family as well, so I gave her enough to distribute around, and everybody in the family really thanked me for those, and appreciated that gesture. So I'd say that, I'll tell you all a little bit about some of these songs I've written about the seven angels in the Revelation sometime in the future. That was kind of something I did back when I used to record music from the Bible. But I will say that those little cherubs are just the style that fascinate me, but they're vintage style and don't really interest people as much anymore. But I decided that sometime or another I might kind of make a video or a set of videos where I might demonstrate the ways I carve those out, let you all see how it's done. But wanted to come on right now to introduce you to it. So keep in touch. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel. I hope to see you in the next video. Stay tuned.